for your goodness and for all your blessings upon us. We thank you, Father God, for as the word says that you have chosen us and you have directed our footsteps. You have engraved our names on your palm. This morning we thank you for the staff and for the parents who are present here. We ask for your anointing and blessings to be upon our principal as he addresses the gathering, and may this address be very meaningful. And also we ask that we have a very constructive and meaningful interaction also with the parents after this address. We ask for your presence in our midst and guidance and blessings once again upon all present here. We thank you, Father Lord, and ask for this prayer in your very loving and holy name. Amen.
Interested in their children and make it a point to attend the address. Since we both as administrative head and teachers and parents, we partner with each other to see and help our children in their growth, especially where their academics are concerned and in school. As you would know, these 2 years are very important years for your children, especially as you prepare them for their board examinations. And it's always imperative and important that parents partner with us, especially when we have open houses and we have meetings like this, to take a feedback from our teachers and heads on how your child is performing. Unfortunately, as your children come to class 6 and they go higher to every class, we see the number of parents also diminishing. And when they are in lower KG or nursery, the hall is absolutely packed. So on one day we only have to call nursery, the other occasion we have to call them is for upper KG. And sometimes you have to put additional chairs. But it's good, it is. Some of you have taken your time out and are here to be with us. And the address is important because human memory fades very fast. So it's important that we address our parents on the do's and don'ts of what our expectations are of our parents and what our parents expect from the institution. And it is also a chance to interact with our teachers, especially who are so vital in the growth of your children, especially mentally, physically and emotionally. So without going any further, I'd like to introduce you to the teachers for the academic year 2023-2024 who will be taking care of your children, class teachers as well as subject teachers and the administrative head of our school. Because many of you may be new parents. I think there may be few who may have joined our school in Standard 9, and many of you have been with us for many years. But still, it is our duty to remind you once again, so that you know who the teachers are who are in charge of your children. So we'll start with the principal, Mr. Julian Luke. So we thought this process becomes very monotonous. So it's always good to have some visual effects. And since we seem very small over here on the stage, you're sitting quite far from us. So the recognition will be better. So that's the principal, Mr. Julian Luke. Then we have our headmaster, Mr. Russell, who is in charge of your children, also in charge of your children from classes 6 to class 10. We have our headmistress, Mrs. Fernandez, now headmistress. First she was designated as the junior school supervisor, and she's upgraded to the headmistress of the junior school. She looks after classes nursery to classes 5. We have our junior college coordinator. For many, it may be a new face because our junior college we only had 2 batches of class 12. That's Dr. Mrs. Ulfa Beg. Our senior school coordinator, many of you may have engaged with her, Mr. Sheila Williams, who's been with us for many years. Our middle school coordinator, Mrs. Alpana Kandelwal, she has also been a long-standing teacher at our school. Our sports secretary, Mr. Melloy Fernandez, who was in charge of all sporting activities in the school, and we encourage a lot of sports and expect our children to participate in it. Then we have Mr. Frank Fonseca, who is quite loud and clear, and you will see him everywhere in the school, especially where discipline is concerned and directing parents from one building to the other. Our school psychologist, Dr. Y. Singh, she needs no introduction if you had your children right from nursery to class 9 and 10. And our school doctor, Dr. S. Nardev. Moving ahead, I'd like to introduce you to your class teachers, children in their class 9. We have a class teacher for class 9A, Ms. Pooja Anand, who is also the class coordinator. For 9B, we have Mrs. Rosie Roy. 9C, we have Mrs. Shubha Singh. 9D, Mrs. Manjeet Gill. 9E, Mrs. Smriti Nair. 9F, Mrs. Andrea Clementer. 9G, Mrs. Trupti Golde. 9H, Mrs. Rebecca Dias. And for 9I, Mrs. Archana Shrivastava. For class 10A, Mrs. Vilma Coutinho, who is also the class coordinator for the class 10s. 10B, Mr. Peter Victor. 10C, Mrs. Arpita Ureka. 10D, we have Mrs. Priti Walke. 10E, Mrs. Nancy Saji. 10F, Mrs. Nupur Chaturvedi. 10G, Mrs. Rubina Sheikh. 10H, Mrs. Fatima Nanda, who is currently not here, but she is gone as a judge to the camp school for their. And 10I, Mrs. Conchita D'Souza. For English, we have Mr. Jonathan Yardi, Mrs. Amreen Bey, Mr. Thaddeus Kohli. For Hindi, we have Mrs. Purnima Bhan, Mr. Satish Gurde, Mr. Rajpal Suryavanshi. In Marathi, we have Mrs. Sarika Thorat and Mrs. Devyani Paithankar. As you are aware, we are offering Marathi as a subject in place of Hindi, and we have many takers, many children for Marathi and dropped Hindi. And I'm sure you may be glad that each one of you have got the required textbooks from which your children can study. For French, we have Mrs. Avantika Ayush. History, Mrs. Ruchi Joshi. For Geography, Mrs. Nandita Sampson. Maths, Mr. Santosh Javeri. For Physics, Mrs. Anne Sri Sundar. Computers, Mrs. Ruhana Sheikh and Mrs. Shilpa Masi. Art and craft, we have Mrs. Poonam Sharma. Music, Mrs. Sophie Fernandez and Mrs. Elaine Mascarenas. Our PE teachers, Mr. Faizan Sheikh, Ms. Swati Sonkamble, and Mrs. Ashwani Sarode. Counselor, Ms. Nisreen Punawala, and a librarian, Mrs. Komal Sankal. Before we go on to some of the points that are relevant and needs to be shared with our parents time and again, I request our school psychologist, Dr. Vaisi, kindly share some thoughts on development of your children, especially when they reach standard 9 and 10. Physical, mental, and emotional development. Dr. Singh.
My colleagues, like Sir mentioned, it's a bit of a struggle coming, and the fact that you all have come means you all are interested and keenly involved in your children. So welcome to the most turbulent, exciting, magical, difficult, transforming years of your child's life. 14 to the next 3-4 years. So it's going to be like 9, 10, 11th and 12th. It's going to be one big rush. So you have to first protect yourself with adequate nutrition, patience and good sleep. Sometimes which is deprived because of this age. So at this point it's like the human species has been gifted with this fancy car at this age, but without brakes. And therefore, that brake giving is extremely important, and that's where we come in. All the adults in their life. So at this stage, what is exactly happening in their lives? They've entered this phase equipped with a lot of skills and suddenly on this growth spurt in every domain of their life. In fact, this growth spurt equates with the first 5 years growth spurt. Suddenly, physically, they're on a completely hormonal phase in their lives. Cognitively, their brain development is at its peak, where the process has started, but is going to go on till about 25 years of age. So they think they are very well equipped, but very often, so what is happening is the prefrontal cortex, part of the brain, which is involved in the most complex thinking mechanism, is getting now developed. But it's just started. And this is going to continue. So very often what happens is suddenly they are extremely mature, well-informed, but they lapse back into the amygdala phase, which is very primitive. So they are extremely impulsive, physiologically and neurologically at this age. They don't mean to be bad, but they land up being extremely difficult. And it's important for us to remember that there's this process called pruning away, which is happening with them, where a lot of reformations and synaptic connections are getting formed. So the habits which are getting formed now are kind of consolidating for a long time in their lives. This is also the stage where social-emotionally they're at this stage called role confusion versus identity crisis. This is that phase where suddenly they're at that crossroad, their first baby step professionally, their first milestone in choosing subjects, actually thinking about the future careers for the first time. This is the stage where they are now ready to have a purpose in life, to have some kind of goal and decide which direction they would like to have and have plan A, B, C already thought about. This is that stage where they're also equipped with something called egocentrism, because of which this entire phase from 9 to 12 are self-obsessed with how people think of them, how they think of their looks, the image that they come across, so they're very conscious suddenly. So you will find children at this stage telling parents, don't come to school, or don't dress like this, or do this, or don't say that, or when my friends come, please behave yourselves. Because they're extremely conscious, not because they lack confidence, but because they're at this phase where they feel that their validity comes from how they are gauged by the other people. And therefore, it becomes very important for us to start validating them with the right words, the right kind of opportunities, and the right kind of mental challenges. So coming to the mental challenges, they are going to get abundant mental challenges because the 9th, 10th exams are extremely stimulating for them mentally if they choose to enjoy the process. A lot of children look at it like, oh my God, the 10th standard. But believe me, it is very age appropriate. It is, kind of ordained by the board in such a way that they are capable of the portion that has been kind of brought up for them. The fact that they are in the 9th and 10th means they have passed and come and equipped themselves to now form the base. It's basically a 2-year course. So you need to start being serious right from the 9th standard. What is your role going to be and their role going to be? For them to attend every class, for them to be in class emotionally, physically present, for them to not get distracted with friends, opposite sex, crushes, substance abuse. All these are going to happen. And for you to be alert is your biggest responsibility. To have a structure in place which is monitored, because if given a choice, remember they have this beautiful car and they can just go speeding. So to have absolutely non-negotiable rules which you all set up in the house, which begin with first safety rules of whether they can use a bike, whether they can, come back at what time, what are the substance, inductions that are happening at this point, being alert, finding out with whom they are, and these are things where it's going to be very important, and you have to do it so smartly and subtly, parents. This is where you have to use your creativity, because if you're going to be a Hitler, they are going to rebel and there's going to be war at home. You need to monitor them, but without letting them know that you are actually the watchman for the next 2 years of their lives. You need to actually build a healthy pattern of communication with them so that they know that you are an approachable parent. If they make mistakes, please don't make it out to be that is the worst thing in the world. Let them know that every problem has a solution and we can deal with it. There has to be some time which is kept for their own physical health, which is important, so therefore sports remains a huge chunk of their lives. Very often we see that the children are so occupied back to back with tuitions after school, which actually is not needed if they really pay attention, because we have the best teaching which is happening here. And they are so occupied that there is no time for anything else. And a child's brain needs to be rejuvenated with sports, because there are a lot of other positive things which are happening. The child is going to feel more energized, it's cathartic, and therefore study should not become more than 40% of the day. So when you count the school hours, you can add another 1 or 2 hours regularly from day 1. It is more than enough. And of course during exams you can add another 2 hours. But if the child is going to be consistent with the studies, then the child doesn't have to, sit up late last night. Because it's very important to not be sleep deprived either, and to see that everything else is in place, where they meet friends, they have fun, they go out, etc. So let's now start making a serious, good structure which you all can start following with these children. See to it that if you pick up any problems where at this stage anxiety is huge because they are overwhelmed with the task ahead. For them it's overwhelming. So every child reacts differently. Some of them are not bothered. Till the 10th standard, 1 month is left and they are those last minute people. But if you can kind of understand if a child is going through anxiety, going through depression, going through any kind of grief, going through any kind of sleeplessness issues which are happening, definitely keep the mobile away as much as possible because certain things they might need it for, but then reviewing it, seeing how many hours they're spending on it. Monitor them. There are this whole lot of Instagrams and Facebooks which can be completely detrimental, unsafe, sexually exploitative. So you need to monitor them in all the domains which are there, and with them being at home, that is the best thing you can do. So observe them. Don't be intrusive. Don't expect them to share everything with you, but you have to be absolutely alert in your own way. So enjoy this phase because at the end of 10, you'll see a very different child. And it's beautiful. That's why this whole stage is called the magical stage because this is the bridge. Once they leave 10 and 12 after that, they are these young adults who we need to equip with those skills with which they can self-sustain. Thank you, parents.
A lot of information, especially for their teenage sons and daughters, on how they could monitor them well. And in these points, we would also elaborate on it a little bit and show you what teenagers are up to nowadays and where you need to take care of your children and how you need to monitor them from time to time. So moving on to punctuality, a very important aspect at the Bishop School. Unfortunately, because of the traffic congestion especially in Undri and especially at the Chowk over here, we do allow our children to come late. But as and when the BMC takes cognizance of it and ensures that these roads are broadened and there's free flow of traffic, I'm sure we're going to clamp down on students coming late and parents taking advantage and bringing the children late to school. So please do ensure that your child comes to school on time. If he is late, he will not be permitted to enter the school gates after 7:45 a.m. Attendance, kindly note that 75% attendance is mandatory as it is required by the council to enable your child to appear for his or her boards or school annual examinations. Students are to swipe their ID card as soon as they come to school in the morning. It is mandatory to carry their hymn books, especially for assembly in the morning. In case they don't have hymn books, they could go to the office and pick up one for the cost of 50 rupees. Promotion for class 9 as per the council criteria, ICSE, it is mandatory that a student passes his or her class 9 with a minimum 35% overall aggregate mark in each subject, failing which promotion to the next class will be denied. Also, it is compulsory that student passes in English plus 4 additional subjects out of the 6 chosen subjects. Absence, leave and sickness, the health of the student is our primary concern. Hence, please do not send your child to school if he or she is sick, even if they have a class assessment, as they won't be allowed to appear for the same, and they will be sent to the infirmary instead. No request for retest will be entertained. However, due consideration for promotion to the next class based on medical documents, certificates may be considered, which are submitted to our school by you. Leave notes, leave applications that will be submitted online through the student's email ID only. Handwritten applications are not accepted. Authorized medical practitioner certificate is to be uploaded if absent for 3 days or more, and a fitness certificate is to be submitted once the child resumes his or her class. Children having any contagious disease, for example chickenpox, skin infection, infections should be kept at home for the required period of quarantine as advised by your doctor. Parents are requested to follow the school calendar and plan their holidays, functions, religious ceremonies as per the school planner. No application for long leave will be entertained. For all holidays, strictly adhere to the school calendar. I'm sure each one of you have received the school calendar. And we also put up a digital copy on TBS. Suffixing and prefixing of leave. Parents are to refrain from requesting for leave before and after school declared holidays, and this happens especially during the Diwali vacations and the midterm break, and should not club the given holidays with additional days. Important medical conditions. In case a child has any particular medical condition that needs to be brought to the notice of the school authorities, please do inform the class teacher and also submit relevant medical reports of the illness via email. You are also advised, once the application is submitted, to go and meet the school doctor and advise her of the medical condition or the medication that is required for your child. The turnout, cleanliness, as we all agree, is a habit that needs to be inculcated in all our students. And there is a distinct link between dress code and the students' behavior. Please ensure that the child and children are neatly dressed in their school uniform. Proper haircuts must be given, and no stylish haircuts or coloring of hair, etc. will be entertained. Girls with hair longer than shoulder length must ensure to plait it. Also, no long painted nails, no application of henna or mehndi will be accepted. Earrings are permitted for girls only and must be started with small earrings, as fancy earrings will not be allowed. Neither with finger rings or nose rings, as it is against the school discipline policy. Only one pair of earrings are permitted. No makeup is to be used. Also note, students are not permitted to wear colored clothes on their birthdays. This is the way we expect your child to be, daughter or son to be dressed to school. School uniform and the PE uniform. I think for girls, we have long track pants. If they don't have long track pants, especially when we approach the winter months or during the monsoon season, you can always purchase it from our vendors in the camp from Binnakin or this is your store? Imperial store. General issues. Should a child has a problem in school, you have to first discuss it with the class teacher by appointment. If you are not convinced with the solution, you may then seek an appointment to meet the coordinator and discuss the same. Any matter that is of serious concern will be dealt with by the headmaster or the principal accordingly. Discipline in buses if your children are using the school transport facility and even private transport facilities. The private transporters who are tied up with us. In the interest of the safety of the child, please advise him or her to maintain discipline while on the school bus. No throwing water out of the bus windows, sticking out their hands, trying to touch passing vehicles. This could cause serious injury. Any complaint from the driver or the cleaner or co-students will be dealt with firmly and may lead to the cancellation of school transportation for your child. We also request you to kindly ensure that your transporter, the private transporters, are registered with the school and are applying and following all traffic rules and regulations as given by the transport authorities. If not, please report the matter to us, either to Mr. Jacob Selvam in Building B3, who is the Assistant State Manager, or Mr. John Moreira. Use of electronic gadgets. Parents are requested to check the children's school bag before they come to school. Surprise checks of school bag will be done regularly. Articles like mobile and other electronic gadgets and any hazardous items will be confiscated and disciplinary action will be taken. And this will only be returned at the end of the academic year. Students are advised to refrain themselves themselves in posting any memes. I'm sure all of you are aware of these platforms, digital platforms, like ma'am spoke about, and posts in social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc., especially about their teachers, which we have seen many of the kids are doing nowadays. If any issue is reported to the cybercrime cell, then the school will not take onus in helping the students if they are found to be at fault or in violation of any cyber law. The card system for indiscipline, bullying, physical assault on a fellow student individually or in a group, or carrying any object which could inflict physical harm, misbehaving with girls, using obscene or unparliamentary language, physical contact, body shaming, etc., will lead to direct expulsion from the school. Also, in the interest of your children, parents are advised to monitor the behavior of your child outside school and in public places. It has been noticed that the students in the Bishop School uniform are found at some of the hookah cafes, public places. Accordingly, even if they are outside the school campus and school uniform, it is brought to our notice, we will issue them a yellow card for bad conduct, which will be considered as a first warning. If there is no improvement, this will be followed by a second yellow card, then a green card, which will be the final warning. Thereafter, a pink card will be issued as a notice of withdrawal on your behalf for non-compliance, or the school may take appropriate action and ask the child to leave the school. The school is rightfully against the use of any kind of vapes. I'm sure you all have all seen this. If you haven't seen this, this is something new. They look like small perfume bottles. And they have a very strong fragrance and all the different flavors. So you may be wondering whether your child is wearing good perfume. So you need to be aware that that is not perfume basically. The strong fragrance that you get is basically vapes, and they are in all shapes and sizes, shapes of perfume bottles, which you will think that they are perfume bottles, but unfortunately they are not. They are also found in shapes. They can be charged like a phone and then be used. So parents, if you find any of this with your children, then you need to look out and maybe get some counseling with your children. And that is why we have a counseling department in school. Hence, the possession of vapes, any kind of alcoholic beverages, vodka, cigarettes, etc. by students within the school premises is strictly prohibited and may call for immediate expulsion from the school. The conduct of unofficial farewells is also firmly forbidden in the school. We believe, and it's been brought to our notice, a lot of children, before they get the official farewell from the school, they get together and go to some of the clubs. Maybe they don't do it in the Undri area, but there are many clubs in Undri also. But most of it happens towards Kalyani Nagar. So they all tie, all our children are smart, they're well connected with our sister schools, their friends over there, and then they have an unofficial farewell, which actually they should not be attending those clubs because they're not 18 years and above. It is strictly prohibited, but unfortunately the club members take, or the owners take advantage of it, because they only look at money, not at the welfare of your child. So if your child is missing in the evenings, please do take care, especially when they come closer to their board examinations. Damaging, scribbling on school property, desks, classrooms, walls, washroom walls will not be tolerated, and the same applies to our new smart boards that have been installed in every class in class 9 and 10. Our toilets also have been renovated completely and no damage to property will be accepted. It has been observed that students commute to school on two-wheelers and park their vehicles outside the school campus. Please note that strict disciplinary action will be initiated against your ward. If you find that he is parking his vehicle, even if you see him outside the school, we'll ask him to bring the vehicle in, confiscate the key and not return the vehicle back to you. Because he doesn't have a driving license to do so. And we do not authorize children, especially in 9 and 10, to be riding around on their own. So it is your responsibility to see that your child is safe. Open house days. In case you are not able to make it to the open house day and wish to send someone to collect their report card, please do send an email in advance and also a hard copy, that is an authority letter, to the person who will be collecting the said report card on your behalf. Students' ID card. Parents, please note that it is compulsory for students to wear their ID card while in school. This card is required on a daily basis to mark the attendance of the child and is also used in the tuck shop. Students are to refrain from carrying any cash to school. You can always recharge their card if they need to make any purchase at the tuck shop. In case you require a new ID card, the same could be procured from the school office. Phone numbers and addresses. Parents are advised to regularly update their contact information in case of any change in phone number, addresses. This could be done online using the child's login details and password given by the school. It is important that you keep this information, the information updated in order for us to be able to contact you in case of any emergency. Caste certificate. If you belong to a certain subcaste, the caste certificate is to be submitted and kindly checked with the school office to ensure that it has been updated. If the certificate is not submitted, then the caste will be considered as general by default. Once we issue a transfer certificate, no change thereafter will be possible. Kindly adhere to this strictly at the time of admitting your child to the Bishop's School.Undri. Aadhaar card details are to be updated in the child profile. If you are facing difficulties in doing so, please contact the school office for assistance. Transfer certificates. All new students need to submit the original transfer certificate in the school office. Transport offered by the school is a privilege and not a right. It depends on the availability of seats and the buses traveling along the various routes. Parents have to make their own arrangements where there is a shortfall in any of these cases, as the school is not responsible for transport facilities. Parents need to take special note that the school drivers are not to be approached in any way regarding any transport arrangements. Please note, any allotment will be done according to the distance the child lives from the school. Short distances will not be accommodated. Office meeting hours. Please note that meeting or school business with the principal or headmaster or the office or the headmaster, the office is after 12 noon will not be entertained. The timing is between 10 to 12 noon. Reference and pressures. Parents are requested not to bring references, recommendations from anyone regarding school matters such as admissions or transfer within the 3 branches of our school. Any transfer from one bishop school to our sister school is treated as new admission and admission fees will be charged again. All procedures for admissions are the school admission policy. Please ensure that your child's fees are paid on time before the commencement of the respective terms. Bills for the first term are generated in the first week of April and should be cleared by the 30th of April. Bills for the second term are generated in the first week of October and should be cleared by the 31st of October. In case of late payment of fees, after the stipulated period, a fine of Rs 5 per day gets automatically charged to your bill. Any supplementary bills that are generated against your ward need to be paid within the stipulated time period. Your cooperation and payment of fees on time helps the school to function smoothly. The TBS app, parents of new students are required to download the TBS app using Play Store or the App Store. Rumors and gossip, kindly refrain from indulging in rumor and gossiping by forming groups on WhatsApp, which is very common nowadays, and other social media, which most of the time leads to misinformation. Please feel free to contact us in case of any doubt or query rather than depending on WhatsApp messages. This year, we have introduced Marathi as an option for the second language along with Hindi and French in Standard 9. Functional Marathi has also been introduced for those students who have not opted for Marathi as a second language. We are also pleased to inform you that the new smart boards have been installed in the middle and senior school, right from Standard 6 to Standard 12 at a huge cost. Students are advised to take utmost care and ensure that no damage is done to these smart boards, which is for their own benefit. Please let me also inform you that each of these smart boards costs around 1,50,000. So any damage to any of these smart boards, we also have CCTV cameras installed in all of our classrooms. So if we have a backup of CCTV camera and we know that any damage is done to these smart boards, unfortunately you will have to bear the cost of 1,50,000. Thank you, parents. And if there are any questions that you would like to ask, important dates. So important dates, first term from the 13th of March to the 2nd of September 2023. We have the second term is from the 11th of September 2023 to 28th February 2024. The first prelims for class 10 is from the 27th of October 2023 to the 8th of November 2023. The second preliminary examination for class 10 will begin from the 9th of January 2024 to the 22nd of January 2024. The finals for Standard 9 will begin from the 15th of February to the 28th of February 2024. The breaks, our holiday term break, begins from the 3rd of September to the 10th of September 2023. The Diwali break, kindly take note, is from the 9th of November to the 19th of November 2023. The winter break or the Christmas break is from the 12th of December 2023 to the 7th of January 2024.